So I made about $5K in revenue last year. I probably spent half of that in just tabling fees. And then that's not even including the time it took to create, the materials, the travel. And was I profitable? Not at all. But I did learn like, okay, I can make money doing this. So my name's Katherine Roesler, Katherine Stephanie Elizabeth Roesler. I grew up in Mississauga, Streetsville area. I went to the University of Guelph from 2011 to 2015. Major was sociology, minor was studio art. Some of the classes I took and some of the projects I made, that's where I learned about zines. Made my first zine in university. It's where I made my first soft sculpture. I welded, I learned woodshop. My first painting that I wanted to make was this painting I did in 2020, and it was hard edge. So hard edge is using tape to like make crisp lines and then painting over that. And so I did quite a few that way. In my sculpture courses in Guelph, we learned that you can make sculpture from soft materials. So that usually that's like fabrics. Fabrics, I would say, is like the pinnacle, but it could be like maybe it's plastic bags, maybe it's tin foil. Like there are things that also are kind of under that umbrella, or you can debate whether or not it's under that umbrella. But yeah, things that are kind of more malleable, and I think more viewed as craft, like weaving could be considered soft sculpture, sewing, knitting, crocheting. Other kind of side things that I have going on, I'm really known for like what I call plush profanity, these pillows that say fuck. People love the fuck pillows. Anytime, like doing markets, I probably did like, I'd say 10 markets last year. The reaction was just like, people point, they laugh, and that's like really joyous for me. You're getting that reaction. People think it's funny, or you get the parents that are like, oh my God, don't look, to their children. Or you get the parents that are like, oh yeah, you say this all the time. Or like, they're a lot more open. So you kind of see how people, react to the word, because it's such a taboo thing. And I really don't think it should be. I love the word. I think it's so expressive. Zines. So I have I think I have 6. Actually, no, I have probably a few more. The first one I ever made in uni was like it was like a cheapskate's guide to student living. That was like, very more cut and paste. The next one I made was it was hand-drawn pictures of vulvas. And that, honestly, that's another piece of my art that like people, I'm always selling that, like maybe not consistently, but it's up on Etsy and I'll always get sales of that. I think a lot of women find they're like, it's something that we don't talk about. It's like taboo. And being able to see that, I think, is very like, I don't know, maybe affirming, or it brings something to a lot of women. If I want to like monetize this, unfortunately, you can't just you can't be all over the place. And I think that's sometimes where my mind is like, oh, let's do a little bit of this and do this. And I'm like, no, I have to kind of create a goal or create something that I want to make and then work through that and like kind of fulfill that idea before I kind of move on to the next task. I see myself as, I hope that I am somebody that really brings in this narrative of like talking about art and business, art and entrepreneurship, art and just being open about like, hey, yes, we live in a capitalist society, and in order to make a living off this, if you don't want it to be a hobby, if you want this to be a full-time job, you need to run yourself as a business. And that's something I very much believe in. And there's this idea of like the struggling artist, which I think is a complete myth. A lot of artists have been successful, and usually it was, by having maybe getting in with a certain gatekeeper, having a specific collector or somebody that is very wealthy buy and support them through their art practice. And I think with social media and the internet, that is kind of democratizing art and changing the narrative.